Okay, fantastico. Hey, what? This camera? Hmm. If any of you know how to set up Mac OS so that I look like myself, please let me know. Why am I looking like this? I tried, like, it's bright. I think there's a setting here for. Let me try and switch or something. Maybe it's a studio light thing. No, it's not that. Maybe. No, it's not that. If any of you know how to reset this thing, please let me know. Because whenever I use this device, I'm looking like this. I don't know why I'm looking like this. But anyway, hi everybody. This is Dr. Tochi, aka Papa Dr. Tochi, looking like a ghost. Okay, you know, you know, right. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a dark skinned person. I don't know. Okay, I don't know why I'm looking like this, but let's move on. Um, Remember, my website is at tochi.us or drtochi.com. Okay, you can book a divination there with me, your dream interpretation, consultation, spiritual counseling, and more on my website. And we are upgrading my website, so there are certain changes that are going on with the website now. Okay. If you placed orders, we will get to your orders. We're a little bit behind. We're about a day or two behind with our orders. But rest assured, your order will be served. In today's class, we're going to be talking about the need for rituals. I am aware that I've done another class or previous classes on rituals and, the nature of rituals and needing to do rituals and stuff like that. So I will be talking about some of the things I've talked about before because sometimes we do need reminders. Get your drink and your snack, your notebook and your pen, and remember to give this live stream a thumbs up because that encourages me to put out more material like this. Okay, so please take a moment to give this class a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. It lets the algorithm know to notify people and let them know that class has started. Hello, Miss Mary. I was just thinking about you actually. I was thinking about some more trouble to cause you. ah, some more drama to bring your way. I was thinking about her and I'm thinking, I need to bring some more drama her way. So please give a thumbs up if you enjoy the material that we put out here. If you are learning things from um, these classes, I would appreciate the thumbs up. Another quick announcement, I did have a general member class yesterday. It was streamed on both Google Meet and YouTube. And for some strange reason, um, YouTube just cut off. The class wasn't over and it cut off. And not only did it cut off, no one can watch it. Okay. So I tried watching it, and I've seen people, they've written comments that they cannot watch that class. So I will go ahead and redo that class. Okay. And the class was about dedicating candles for specific rituals and specific spirit guides. So I will repeat that class. Um, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Sometimes YouTube will show me that I have hundreds of likes, but zero views. So I don't know how it's possible that people can like my video but not view it. So it will show zero views but hundreds of likes. And then when I go into the analytics of the video, it will show me 2 likes. So it's like as you go into the system, it's like there are so many metrics in there that are inaccurate. Sometimes it will show me only 2 people watch the video, 10 people watch the video, 100 people watch the video, 1 like. Or sometimes it will show me there are 200 likes but zero views. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I do not want to be a conspiracy theorist by saying, oh, well, some of us are being targeted for what we're putting out. I don't know about that. And I choose not to, go down that path. Always remember that we have options. Okay, we have options. A lot of these platforms now do not allow us to joke about things. So, like, y'all know that I like to joke about things in general. And sometimes you're in the middle of joking and it will cut you off. TikTok has done that to me. YouTube has done that to me. I've been joking about one thing or the other that has nothing to do with anything negative, and it will just cut off. And again, a lot of that has to do with censorship. Okay. And it doesn't make sense sometimes that if you go on TikTok or Instagram, even YouTube, you will see people leaving everything hang out, using strange language, foul language, and nothing happens. They get hundreds of thousands of views. But when we're talking about spirituality, talking about things that can help us in a real practical way, then you get cut off. Okay. Just last week, Instagram, I was trying to post a clip. And some of you might have seen that clip when I was talking about stress and how stress can affect your spirituality. And the video is probably about 6 minutes long or 8 minutes long, something like that. And as I was about to post it on Instagram, a message came up on Instagram that they will limit distribution of that video because it was more than 3 minutes. Make that make sense. So Instagram already let me know up front, if my videos are more than 3 minutes, they will actively limit the distribution. So I hear a lot of creators now complaining about that they're putting out material and their followers cannot see that material because the platform is limiting the reach of that material. And you're looking at that and going, why are you limiting the reach of this material? It's not controversial, it's not negative, it's not bad, it's not forbidden, it's not toxic. Why are you limiting the reach of the video? So we have the platforms actively limiting the reach of creators' information. Okay. But there was a time on Instagram I posted a dream interpretation for intimacy, and I had a picture of a woman lying on the bed with her legs showing, just her legs. And my account got tagged negatively till today. It got a strike and said I was showing body parts. Just her legs on the bed. She was lying down and was showing her legs on the bed. Until today, that particular Instagram account has a strike against it that, I was showing body parts. Yet we do have folks on Instagram showing their bodies in videos and doing things with their bodies in videos. So I kind of understand when some creators feel that they're being targeted, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. People are showing body parts on their videos and they're not getting censored, and they're putting out more and more, and people are watching these things. And here I am putting out a thumbnail of a picture of a woman lying on the bed and just her legs are showing, and I'm saying, here's a dream interpretation if you're dreaming about intimacy, and boom, uh, my account got a permanent strike on it till today. And that happened about 5 years ago. And that strike is still on that account. Yet they still send me things to that account. Oh, we want you to boost your post and we can help you with your advertising. Would you like to get a verified, red, not red, blue check mark? You can do this with your account, and we can help you do this with the account of the other. But they didn't take off the strike for something. And I appealed it, and the automated system denied the appeal. No human being looked at it. So I say this to let you know that if you are following uh, creators and for some reason you're not seeing the contributions of those creators, so that you will know what's going on. These platforms are picking and choosing who they're going to promote, and they have this AI software that just picks and promotes, uh, I believe, more controversial things. So if I were here showing my body parts, or if I were here saying salacious things, or um, getting people angry, then you're going to see the algorithm will pick that up and start distributing that to more and more people, because you'll have a lot of angry people maybe in my comment section just typing comments and blah, 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 and then the algorithm say, oh yeah, this person is popular and very engaging, let's push this out some more. So I did have some people start recommending to me alternate platforms where creators can go and put up their material, and people will access the material, can access the material. There are people that I follow that I don't get their material in my feed unless I actually go and hunt down their page. And they're putting out good material, but I'm not seeing that good material because the algorithm figures that it's not dramatic enough, and therefore they're not going to put. And then on my feed, they're suggesting all these other people I should follow, but they're not showing me the people that I follow, or the people that I've chosen to follow. So I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. Okay. So let's just take a moment to gather ourselves, calm down. That was my rant for the week. Okay. And take a deep breath. Even for myself, I'll take a deep breath. This too shall pass. Nothing is permanent. Every adversity has an expiration date. Peace. Be still. Remember to give the class a thumbs up. Hopefully, that will let the algorithm know that people do want to come to class. They want to be notified that class is in session. So remember to give this live stream a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you for that thumbs up. One of the things that comes up in consultations, even amongst my coaching students, is how many times do I need to do a ritual, or um, and we're talking about spiritual rituals here. Okay. How many times do I need to do a ritual, or how do I know what I'm supposed to do a ritual for and what I'm not supposed to do a ritual for? A general rule of thumb is if it's problematic, get a divination, and the divination will tell you if you need a ritual for it or not. I find divinations to be very clarifying because I am often emotional about my situation, like most people, too close to the situation to think rationally and objectively about what is facing me. So I would get a divination. Okay. Sometimes I would do a quick divination. As a spiritual practitioner, I do have many divination tools. I have tarot cards, oracle cards, I've got runes, I've got cowrie shells, okay. I've got water, I've got sand, I've got bones, I've got candles, I have pendulums, I have books that I use, like for instance, and I've done classes on this, like here's a Quran. Use this for my divination. Okay, I've done classes on using the Quran for divination, using the Bible for divination, or using any old plain book for divination. Um, Sometimes I use coins, and I've done a class on coins, coin divinations. So there's so many ways we can do a quick divination to give us some idea as to what's going on. But there are sometimes we will do a divination and we will interpret it some kind of way. Again, because we are the ones involved in that situation and we can't always be objective about how we interpret what is going on. Then we get someone else to do a divination for us. Okay. And then we involve someone else. We involve a spiritual practitioner. Okay. Oftentimes, I will ask in the divination if this requires a ritual or not. Okay. Again, this depends on the problem. Now, there are some things that are so obvious that you don't need to do a divination to find out if you need to do a ritual for it or not. Okay. If I need to go make an offering, it's a ritual in itself. I don't need to go do a divination should I go make an offering or not. Okay. If I'm going to conduct an elder initiation, a water initiation, an earth initiation, I won't generally start conducting a divination about that because I already know that this is something that I have to do, something that needs to be done. If I'm trying to decide between eating jollof rice and a shawarma, I am not going to go get a divination. And I know that some people will say, well, that's a trivial example. Why would you need to get a divination if you wanted to know if you should have jollof rice or a shawarma? There are people who will literally not move, they are frozen by paralysis, mental paralysis, because they're trying to do a divination for every little thing. Oh, when I wake up in the morning, I do a divination. Before I go to work, I'm going to do a divination to find out what's going to happen at work. Before I go out to this thing, I need to know, do a divination. Before I go talk to this person, let me go do a divination. Before that is too much. Ladies and gentlemen, that is too much. The reason why you are in a class like this is to learn little things you can do to solve problems in your life. And so you need to be using these tools to solve problems that come up, especially unexpectedly. If someone is giving you grief at work, for example, your manager is making your life difficult, or your supervisor or your co-workers are making your life difficult, you already know that that's how the work environment is. You don't need to be doing a divination every day you go to work. You already know that that is how that situation is. If you come from an unsympathetic family, you already know that. You don't need to be doing divinations every day. Oh, I want to know what they're saying about me. I want to know if they're plotting against me. I want to know if they're acting in my interest or against my interest. That's unnecessary. You already know. So, yes, we are learning about different tools we can use in our lives, but there's also a point when we need to be using our own common sense. Remember to give the live stream a thumbs up so that the platform can notify other people that we are in session. Okay. Okay, so there's a time when it's too much. If you can't make a move in your life and you have this sense of dread hanging over your head to make any decision or to take any action until you've done a divination, that's a sign that it's too much. It's too much. Inasmuch as spiritual practitioners as myself value your business and that you book appointments with us for divinations, there's a point when it's too much. And for me, I will tell you if it's too much. If you book an appointment with me this week, oh, there's this guy, my church, I want to know if we have a future together, then we do that divination. Then you book another appointment next week. Well, that guy at the church, I know we did a divination about him last week, my chances with him, but I wanted to do another divination to find out, do I have competition for his heart? Then the week after that, I want you to do a divination. If I do a ritual to get him, even though I know that the divination we did before said it's not going to be a good match, but can we do a ritual to subvert that or cancel all of that or change that so that I can have him? That's too much. Okay. That is too much. If you are starving, you don't have money to meet your basic needs, it's usually not a good time to be doing a divination to find out if you should take up that basic job, menial job with Burger King so that you can put food in your belly. That's not a divination level problem. Your problem is that you need to have food in your belly. Okay. You need to have food in your belly. Your challenge at the moment is not to be getting a divination. Should I get this job at McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken? And again, I'm just using the examples we have out here. Should I should I take the job at Domino's Pizza? And you know you have a degree in computer engineering, or you have a degree in business administration, and you want to be doing divinations on the menial job that's going to give you a little bit of money to hold body and soul together until you get the job you need. That's a waste of your time and the time of anybody who is helping you do that divination. Am I being understood? If you understand what I'm saying, let's have your oh yeah in the comment section. Doing divinations for basic life needs is usually a waste of time. Okay, thank you. It's a waste of time. You know you're overqualified for the job. You're not supposed to be doing a divination about your future as a burger flipper or a French fryer. Oh, let me see my future if I decide to start this menial job carrying bricks. Are you understanding? I mean, I'm just having like what, four people saying, oh yeah. Is it only four people here understanding what we're talking about? Do I have only four people understanding? I want to make sure you understand what we're saying here. Doing a divination to find out what outfit to wear to a party is too much. Now, if you're doing a divination, oh, what outfit should I wear? I'm going on a date. That is too much. Your divination should be, is this person, what will happen if I decide to open the door of my heart to this person? That is the right kind of divination you need to be doing. And when it comes to rituals as well, it is pointless to be doing a ritual to have an enchanted dress, a spelled dress to go on a date with, instead of doing a ritual to get the right person. Is anyone picking up what I'm dropping here? There's a lady, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, there's a lady who whose husband is out there with another woman. Okay. And he kicked her out of her business and is using the money from her business to fund his lifestyle with a new woman. And he started building a house, a brand new house, where he was going to live with his new woman. And this lady was like, I want a ritual to stop him from building in that house and a ritual to kick her out. I want a ritual that will keep him from building that house and another ritual to kick her out. This is my question to you. Are those the rituals that she's supposed to be doing? I want to hear from you. Are those the rituals she is supposed to be doing? Her husband got another woman saying he wants to marry her, brought the woman into the family, took over this woman's business. She introduced him to her business that because she was the breadwinner, so she brought him in, showed him how to run the business so that they could run it together as a couple. He kicked her out of it. I don't know how she agreed to being kicked out of it, but he kicked her out of the business and brought in this other woman. So they're running this business, they're making money from this business. And then he's using this money to subsidize his lifestyle with this new woman, and he's building a new house and they're having a good life. Then she's like, I want a ritual to stop the new house he's building and a ritual to kick her out. Are those the right rituals she's supposed to be doing? Okay, I'm seeing a number of people saying no, no, no. Okay, Ms. Mary, I don't know if that means yes, that's what she's supposed to be doing. But Onyinye Chukwu says no. Auntie Mazuba says no. Ms. Rashida says no. Okay, Ms. Mary, you say no. And don't be saying no because you think that I'm going to be saying no. So I want you to think about the problem. Is she supposed to be, are those the rituals she's supposed to be doing? Jenny Balker says no. So if you're saying no, that's not the rituals she's supposed to be doing, what rituals is she supposed to be doing? Because this will let me know if you're understanding what we're learning here. Why is it that whenever I have a class, there's an emergency vehicle running by with the sirens? I don't even know. So if you're saying no, that that's not what she's supposed to do, what ritual is she supposed to do? And if you're saying yes, then okay, you're saying yes. Those are the rituals she needs to do. But if you're saying no, what rituals does she need to be doing? What rituals does she need to be doing for her situation, for what's going on? I'm gonna switch this light off. Maybe this is also what is making me look some kind of way. Not really. Okay, so Scorpio, I'm not sure what your comment means. I don't understand it. If you're saying no, that that's not the kind of ritual she needs to do about her situation or for her situation, what rituals do you think she ought to be doing? Or maybe you think she shouldn't be doing a ritual at all about the situation. You might be of that school of thought. No, not needed. She needs to move on. What ritual do you think she needs to be doing? Miss Mary says protection, releasing, and healing for herself. So she needs to protect herself, release herself, and heal herself. Okay. Let's see what others say. Remember to give the live stream a thumbs up so it lets other people know that class has started or we're in session. What rituals, if you're saying no, those aren't the rituals that she's supposed to do, what rituals do you think she should do? Leonard says, then there's those that need a bit of attention, not to leave that situation like that. Uh, I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that, Leonard. And Timazuba says wealth rituals. Okay. So she just needs to do a wealth ritual. Leonard, can you explain a little bit more what you mean by that? Because your comment, I'm not sure I understand it. There's those that need a bit of attention, not to leave that situation like that. I'm not sure I understand that, so I don't want to misinterpret that. What rituals do you think she needs to do? Folks, remember that we're here to learn. Okay. So when we come to class, we're not just passive consumers of content and passive consumers of whatever is put out. I want you to understand the material that I'm putting out here. I want you to personalize this so that you can apply this to your situation. If you said no, that those rituals she's saying that she needs to do are not the ones that she needs to do, then which ones does she need to do? Or do you agree that she's correct, that she chose the right rituals to do for her situation? Or do you believe she shouldn't be doing any rituals at all? Okay. Ms. Rashida says she needs a divination to see if she's still in alignment. Okay. We're not talking about divinations here. We're talking about rituals. What does she need to do about her situation? Does she need to stay with it or does she need to walk away? If she's staying with it, what exactly does she need to be doing? This is the problem that is facing her. Mm. Okay. So, in today's class, I'm not going to give you the answer easily. Okay, Scorpio says cleansing rituals. Miss Mary, you said protection, releasing, healing for herself. How does it help her situation? Auntie Mazuba says wealth rituals. How does that help her situation? Scorpio is saying cleansing rituals. How does that help her situation? How does that resolve the situation she's in? Okay. Ms. Jenny is saying not a ritual, walk away from the situation. Okay. So she should walk away from everything she's invested in that relationship, in that marriage, in her business, just walk away from it. Okay. That's what Ms. Jenny is saying. How does that help her? How does walking away help her? Miss Monique says cord cutting. How does cord cutting help her? How does it help her situation? What I'm getting, the sense that I'm getting here is that people are not thinking through this problem. And this is a challenge that many of us face, and I believe I've addressed this in other classes. There has to be, I want you to review the classes that we did in January and February of this year. If you're going to do a ritual, there has to be a target, there has to be a reason. We're not just doing willy nilly rituals just because, okay, this sounds like a good idea. For example, Ms. Monique is saying here cord cutting. What is a cord cutting ritual? How does it apply to the situation? How does it help her? Or are you just saying, okay, do a cord cutting and hope for the best? Okay, Miss Leon says, let go and favor ritual. So she should let everything go and then just do a favor ritual. You have to understand. Okay, so if this woman came to you and asked you to recommend a ritual, so this is what you'd recommend to her. If you were in her shoes, would these be the rituals you would do? Let me put it that way. Because sometimes it's a lot easier to tell people to do stuff that we ourselves are not prepared to do. Okay. Leonard George says required ritual is destroy the whole plan to protect what's yours. So Leonard, you're just saying go there. Okay. How did George Bush say it? George W. Bush. Shock and awe. Use a shock and awe ritual. Just destroy everything. But remember what her preferred ritual. Stop the building and kick the woman out. Stop the building and kick the woman out. That's the ritual she chose. Okay. So Is this what you would advise her to do? If you were in her shoes, is this what you would do? So do you see that your spirituality has to be practical? Someone took your husband, took your business, taking over your home, and someone says to me, "Oh, I should go do a healing ritual. Go do a cleansing ritual." Another person says, "Let it go." Another person says, "Oh, go do a wealth ritual." One person says, "Nuke everything." Protect what's yours. Uh, do you see that problem solving in spirituality requires some research, requires some thought? Because there are many of us here, we go to a spiritual practitioner and we don't even stop to think if what the spiritual practitioner is telling us to do makes sense. The spiritual practitioner says, "Oh, okay, someone took your husband. Okay, here, let me give you a spiritual cleanse to do." And we're like, "Yay!" And we go do the spiritual cleanse. And we never stop to think and say, is what this person telling me, this practitioner or the person who's counseling me, is what they're saying making sense? Okay. Or your counselor says to you, "You know what? If I were you, I would just walk away. Let him have it all. Let him let him and her have it all. It doesn't matter. This world is a temporary place. No one leaves with anything. So you can just walk away." And some of us will say, "Yay, I'll leave it for God, or I'll leave it for Jesus, or leave it for whomever, whatever it is that you worship or talk to." Okay. I see majority of the people are silent and not answering. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Miss Mary says no. After thinking, I would go after his tail. So you would do a ritual to go after him? So I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay. So we have many people in the class and only a few people are answering. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, Miss Mary, you're saying I'm hurt and angry. Okay. Would that be the best thing for you to do, though? Would that be the best ritual you should do to get you the outcome that you need? After you go after him, then what? How does that resolve the situation? Okay. All right. Remember that my website is tochi.us or drtochi.com, and you can book me for your divinations, consultations, counseling. Thank you. Thank you. Finally, we have someone who finally put their hat on. We're thankful to our creator, our guardian spirits, that somebody finally got started thinking about the root of all of this. You are correct, Monique. So send me an email. You get a free dream interpretation as a prize. Monique is correct. She needs to do a ritual for that business to fail. And the reason why she needs to do a ritual for that business to fail is that it is the money that is empowering him to build a new house. It is the money that is attracting that other woman to stay there. You could be doing a ritual to kick the woman out. Do you assume that the woman is just going to be sitting there waiting to be kicked out? As long as the money is there, she will take that money and do what she needs to do to ensure her survival in that relationship with the man. She has access to the man, and as long as she has access to the man, she has access to the money. She has access to the business. So as long as she has access to that business, she has access to the man and anything else she wants. Remember the little clip I put out the other day? Many people remain in the problems they have because they don't have the money to get out of it. And as long as that woman is there and she can lay her hands on that business money, her position will remain unassailed. So, yes, Monique, you're correct. You want to do a ritual for the business to fail. Because once that business fails, the thing holding the man and the woman together will fall apart. The man can't continue building the house. The woman will have no reason to be attracted to him. Also, the ritual is being done against the business, not against her. So even if she runs out to go do something against the woman, the woman who owns the business is going to fail, because you can't do back to sender to somebody who didn't do anything to you. There's nothing to send back. There's nothing to send back. So if the side woman says, okay, I'm going to do back to sender, what are you sending back? There was nothing sent your way. And what I would do if I was a woman, not only will I have the business fail, I would have it fail whenever two of them were involved in that business. And I would have him hand back the business to me. Or just completely nuke that business. And the man, and remember again, when you do a ritual for the business to fail, you haven't done anything against the man. So he can't do a back to sender to you. He cannot, there's nowhere he will go to and say, oh, I want the person who attacked me, blah, 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 blah. No, nobody attacked you. So he doesn't have a leg to stand on because the business wasn't his rightfully, it wasn't his. So I'm basically saying, I want a ritual for this business that I started to fail. I'm the owner of the business. It was snatched from me. I want it to fail. Yes, Leonard, you said something, but I kept asking you to explain and clarify. You said something. So I'm saying, what is that something? Because you were more like, yeah, something needs to be destroyed. I was asking you what needs to be destroyed. So you weren't clear. Yeah. So Miss Monique, send me an email. See what I'm saying? So you need to be able to think through and determine, does this thing need a ritual or not? And if it does, what is the most appropriate ritual to deal with the root of the problem? Not with the branches of the thing, but with the root of the problem. The root of that problem is the money that's coming from that business. Because if there wasn't money coming from that business, that other woman wouldn't come. And then the man wouldn't have the gumption to kick his wife out of the business she started. She started it. She was running it. She was the one paying bills and taking care of the family and doing everything. And when she found out that, her husband wasn't doing so well and, he was idle, she was like, come on, let me teach you the business, get you involved in the business, and we can run this business together. And he went in there, tasted money, and became irresponsible. Okay. And for those of you saying, oh, I will just walk away, you know darn well that you would not walk away. This is how you feed yourself. This is how you feed your family. This is how you take care of your household. Why would you walk away from it? Why? It wasn't like he was doing the business and you met him doing the business. This is the business that you started. Why would you walk away? And there are so many lessons to be learned from that. Because many women, again, because of patriarchal structures, we start something, it is prosperous, it is doing well, we are the leader, we're the dominant, but because of religion and patriarchal structures, we get a partner or somebody we think, yeah, we get a partner, and we make that partner in charge of that thing that we were called to do. And then when everything goes to hell in the handbasket, then we say, oh my God, I was being submissive. So where's the profit in your submission? There are so many women who've done stuff like that. You have a business, is a thriving business, is doing well. You can't continue running your business without bringing in your partner. Especially if your partner doesn't have business sense, especially if your partner is not ambitious in the same direction that you are, especially if your partner is not bringing anything business wise to the business table. The partner might be contributing in other ways, maybe keeping the house clean, helping to take care of the kids, helping you produce kids, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the person is a good business partner. And sometimes there's this narrative that we women tell each other, oh, he will change. Of course, he's going to change. He's going to become worse. Men sometimes tell that story too. Oh, she will change. And she becomes something you never expected. Before you bring anybody into your business, I don't care what kind of business it is, do a divination. The best time to prevent a divorce is before marriage. If you started a business is running well, is going well, and you're like, oh, okay, let me bring my loving partner into it, do a divination. Will this bring us together or will it drive us apart? Will this help us or will this hinder us? And many of us don't want to do that. Oh my God, that's the mother of my children, or that's the father of my children, that's the love of my life, and so on and so on and so forth, until there's a problem. Okay, so I hope y'all learned something from today's class. We're thankful to our Creator, our guardian spirits, our ancestors, our spirit guides for today's forbidden fruit, for being taught how to think for ourselves, for being reminded to gain sense, and being reminded that not all that glitters is gold. And even if it's gold, we have to be sure that is part of our life destiny. Ashe. He say, Kamago Goza Lasedi, Makwande, Nyinho. Bobo. It is done, it is finished, it's complete. Amen. Ma'at. Thank you all for coming to class. Again, I will repeat the member class that I did yesterday because there are video problems. So if you are unable to access the class of yesterday, like I mentioned, I will be redoing it because I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Thank you so much for coming to class. Love you all.